Welcome to Modern Motoring. We are with the 2026 BMW 540i. It's the Legacy Edition. It's only coming to Canada, and there's only 151 units being made available. So let's go through what exactly makes this Legacy Edition a Legacy Edition. So first off, it's got the BMW very famous and long-running B58 engine. It's a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder, 375 horse, 398 pound-feet of torque, all-wheel drive, and it runs through an 8-speed automatic transmission. There are only a few options you can get here. So let's go through what those options are. You can choose your exterior color, and that comes through a selection of any of the available BMW individual manufacturer colors. And there are some beautiful and gorgeous colors. You can pick one of 5 different interior options as far as materials and colors go, which isn't too bad. And there are 4 interior trims that you can pick over and above that. Back to the exterior for a moment, you can opt between red or dark blue brake calipers. And well, that's pretty much it. When I first saw the spec sheet from BMW Canada, it had the MSRP of $94,500, and that's it. No options, no extra costs. That's kind of the one and done deal with it. And it's peculiar because in the luxury world, it's gonna build your own car as far as options go. And I know Porsche is probably the most detailed with that, with an option for nearly everything out there. But BMW has had a pretty long list of options on vehicles that I've had. So that covers the few options you can select from. Let's go to the standard features. So you get heated front seats, heated outboard rear seats, ventilated seats, you get a head-up display, you get this big fixed panoramic sunroof, you get an 18-speaker high-end and really crisp Bowers & Wilkins audio system. You also get your wireless charging, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You get the big curved screen display here. You get a variety of different ambient light options, which I think look pretty good. It's not overly done, kind of like Mercedes tends to do. This is just nice, clean, and crisp, and it's not a redesign of the 5 Series by any means. I've done one of those already for the new generation, but just going through everything that BMW gives you here. And you also get the M Sport Pro package in addition to that. You get your parking assistant. You get all the necessary safety options as well. So BMW has decked this out pretty nicely with what I think is all of the key options and packages kind of rolled into one here. And I would take this if it was offered to me or just magically showed up in my driveway with the no strings attached agreement to it. I wouldn't add anything. I really wouldn't. The audio system is really strong and powerful, but not overbearing. I guess the one thing I wouldn't mind is having a moving sunroof as opposed to it being fixed, but it's a very minor thing, and it wouldn't impact my decision if I were to get one of these. You also get an illuminated grille, you get the parking package, and well, there's really not much else that I think a lot of people would want out of this. And I think that's why BMW had specifically spec'd it like this, with all of the features and options kind of rolled in here under one nice long roof. Now, the 5 Series is my favorite modern BMW. It has been for over a decade, because I don't think the 3 Series does enough for me as far as drive feel goes. The 7 is way too big. I don't mind their X line of crossovers and SUVs, but as a daily driver, just this 5 Series has everything covered. It's quick, it's fast, it's responsive. Even the 530, the lowest output engine in the 5 Series lineup, still drives fairly well. And of course, the 550e, the plug-in hybrid with power figures in the high 4s, well, that's a completely different type of animal that is just explosively fast. And you get some electric range out of it as well. But as far as kind of finding that this porridge is too hot, this porridge is too cold, this porridge is just right, it's the 540. And I'm so happy that Canada got this. And the weird number for it to be 151 out of all the different numbers they could have picked, or production runs they could have gone with. But let's just run with it, because, you know, it's better than nothing, or 150. I'll quickly touch on pricing and then we'll go over it one more time at the end. But this is the most expensive gasoline 5 Series at $94,500. But as far as power output goes, it sits in the middle. You get the 530, which is low output, and that comes in at $72,900. And then you get the higher output 540i for $85,900. So this is almost $10,000 more than the 550e. But again, the way it's been assembled and optioned up, and just the way it drives, like this B58 engine is legendary for a reason. And again, it's responsive, it's quick, it's agile, it's not overbearing. You can still struggle in urban traffic with it, and it's not too jumpy and it's not too jerky, and it still does everything you want it to, and it does it exceptionally well. One irk I have is putting this into sport mode, and to me it should be a simple either push of a button or pull of a toggle, maybe two if we're pushing it, but here it's 3, maybe 4. So you hit my modes, then you hit sport mode, and then you hit activate, and then to get out of that screen super quick, you got to just hit wherever you were, whether it's your CarPlay, Android Auto, or back to your home screen. And then the sport mode engages. And it's a little cumbersome, it's over-engineered, and I don't think it's necessary, because it's not like you're unleashing 1,000 horsepower or, you know, something bizarrely bonkers, right? It's a strong but yet modest power output in the high 3s. So asking the driver if they're sure they want to put it into sport mode just seems a little much. And maybe you want to activate sport mode on the fly, and having to go through all those steps just makes it a little over-engineered and completely unnecessary. I do have a few quirks with the 540i, one of them being there is no seat back pocket at all. It's just nothing. No pocket, no net, no option for storage of any types. Next up is the speaker cover for the rear seats are huge, whereas the speaker covers here on the top of the front doors are relatively small. And it doesn't matter to me. It's just something I noticed when I was kicking around in the back seat, just looking at some stuff and getting ready to do some shooting from the rear to the front. Yeah, just a little peculiar there. Another one is the sunshade goes from the front to the rear as opposed to the rear to the front. And I haven't seen that in many vehicles, and it's a definite quirky oddity that it's like that here. Just to wrap things up here, I think BMW has done extremely well here by bringing this to Canada, by having it available as a Canadian-only offering, and it's usually the States that get things that we don't get here in Canada. So, showing my very proud patriotic side, thank you BMW for giving Canada something fun and exceptional and really, really cool. And again, this isn't a typical review because it's not a new vehicle. It's a legacy edition. It's a limited run. I think they're going to sell out if they haven't already. Production apparently started in September 2025. I'm recording this in late October 2025, so I hope they're sold out. I really do, because again, it's a smart move. It's not over $100,000, and yes, it's a little steep for a 5 Series overall, seeing as the 550e comes in at $85,900. Now that has no options. That's just the MSRP, and it comes pretty well equipped, but it is significantly more interesting and fun and engaging of a drive compared to the 530. Again, no shot against those. There are specific markets for the 530, 550, but for this 540, it's going to be for those people who want something unique. Again, B58 engine and a 5 Series and most of the bells and whistles here. And it's for those who want very impressive and responsive driving dynamics. They don't necessarily care for getting a plug-in hybrid. They just want a good old B58 turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine. And if that's what you want, and you want to just not pore over option sheets, maybe this might be for you, again, if there are any left. That's going to wrap it up for the 2026 BMW 540i Legacy Edition. If you have any questions about what you've seen, let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to get you answers as soon as possible, and I'm always happy to engage in respectful conversation online. I invite you to join the Modern Motoring social media platforms. We are on all of the major ones. And without you, there is no Modern Motoring. So I thank you, I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.